Hi, my name is Courtney Campbell. This is my ITI 664 Week 3 presentation. It is entitled Using SIOP to Improve Cognitive Academic Language Proficiency in Hispanic English Language Learners. Chapter 1 is the introduction to my paper. The nature of the study surrounds English language learners and their struggle to understand and produce cognitive academic language proficiency within the classroom to help close the academic achievement gap. So the purpose of this study is to evaluate why ELL students are struggling to understand and use academic language, and to evaluate the effectiveness of using the SIOP model to develop cognitive academic language proficiency in Hispanic ELLs. SIOP is the Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol. It's used as an umbrella model to shelter English language learners and to help teachers design and create lessons that meet their individual needs. The significance of this study and the reason that I picked this topic is because of the number of Hispanic English language learners in the California public school system. So the number of ELLs has been drastically increasing and is expected to continue to increase. With the increase of ELLs, serious challenges are being faced not only by the ELL students, but by their teachers as well. Schools have obligations to provide every student with an equal opportunity to access education, bridge the gap, and offer these students the opportunity to acquire cognitive academic language proficiency. But many teachers are not prepared or they're unaware of how to meet these ELL needs. I thought this was a really interesting statistic. It says with over 4.8 million students in our public school system in the 2014-2015 school year, English language learners represented 10% of the total K-12 population. So what? What does that mean? What are teachers doing? How are we going to close the gap? And how are we going to help these English language learners acquire cognitive academic language proficiency within our public school system? So based on that information, my research questions are, number one, what SIOP strategies is the teacher currently using to develop and reinforce cognitive academic language proficiency in ELLs? And with this question, I want to know, is the teacher using SIOP? Have the lessons been developed to meet the needs of the students? Is it incorporating their background, their culture, their linguistic needs? Is it tailored to these students? My second question is, how effective are the SIOP strategies in helping Latino English language learners acquire cognitive academic language proficiency? And so with this question, I'm really looking for student engagement, participation, collaboration. Are the students willing to take risks? Are they willing to try new academic language? Are they collaborating with their peers? Are they enjoying the lesson? Are they responsive to the SIOP strategies and techniques being used? My third question is, how do teachers and Hispanic ELL students feel about learning English? Disposition has a huge impact on the absorption of learning. So collecting data to understand the thoughts and feelings about how the students feel about learning English will give a deeper insight to how successful the acquisition of English is for these students. If they're not interested and engaged, if they're not excited about learning English, if they're not pulled into the material, they're not going to be as responsive. So looking for how they respond to teachers' instructions through using these SIOP model. Chapter 3 is the mythology section. This study is going to be using second grade Hispanic English language learners, and they are going to be inside of a classroom setting. The instruments will be questionnaires, interviews, and observation. Observation will take place during directed lessons as well as in class to get a feel of the student. And the data collected will help give insight to how the SIOP model affected the English language learners' cognitive academic language proficiency, and how attitude, demeanor, engagement of the students and the teacher have changed since using the SIOP model. Chapter 4, Personal Reflection. The research in this comes from qualitative data. So a systematic approach has been used to describe the experiences and give meaning to them. The goal of the research is to gain insight, depth, and richness on the topic of developing cognitive academic language in Hispanic ELLs using the SIOP model. The implications for practice and teaching. The findings of this research will impact teachers, students, special education teachers, anybody who interacts with students who are English language learners will benefit from this research. And dependent upon the results, further research may be needed. Further research could lead to more accurate results over a longer period of time. It could include more students, participants in the study. So those would be implications for further research. For this, my critical friend has been my 3 master's teachers and instructors. My first instructor gave a lot of insight about finding articles, doing research, finding material that was important to me. My second critical friend was my second master's teacher, who really helped me fine-tune what it was I wanted to know and what I was asking. Gave me a lot of suggestions on further research to look into and how to tie all of my information together.